could take Tracy. We could take Charbonnet. We could take, someone like Bo Nix or whatever and set up Evan Ingram or set up Marvin Mims or Pat Bryant.
Would it be more helpful to get good players?
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by Underdog. We're mixing it up today, so I want you to smash the like and sub to the channel and use code Mayo at Underdog, because that's going to become very helpful. We're doing a best ball draft for NFL, talking through some strategy, but it's a new show that I'm trying out where we're going to do some NFL drafts, try to see where people are going, talk about the NFL, but just have a casual conversation as it's going along. So if you're listening to this on the audio podcast feed and you desperately want to know where the picks are going during the best ball draft, then I suggest you head on over to the Mayo Media Network on YouTube so you can visualize it yourself. If you just want to hear the casual talk, then boom, audio, perfect medium for you to do it. Davis Mattek is on the line with me. You've been doing a ton of these, haven't you?
Yes. Sadly, I am one of these people. I've been drafting 2025 best ball teams since Jaden Daniels was taking the field to play against the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Conference Championship, and basically have not slowed down since then, Pat, because the only way to win is to be in the arena. So I'm trying to put myself in the arena many thousands of times.
Why is that something that you've been doing since January?
The big board on Underdog Fantasy is a great tournament. It's 3 out of 12 advance out of your pod instead of 2 out of 12. So it's just kind of easier to have a bunch of advancing teams. And anyone who has put a bunch of energy into a best ball season before and has done the whole thing and been in the trenches, and you don't get a team to the finals, you get to week 17, you have nothing to root for. Miserable experience. So I want to have the ability to win 6 figures, 7 figures in week 17 after dedicating all my time to it. And it's a snowball effect, right? Because if you do 10 teams, whatever, but if you do 100 teams, you get to, you're like, well, I might as well do 200. And if I'm going to do 200, I might as well do 500. If I'm going to do 500, I'm already on this app all the time, I might as well do 1,000, right? Because really the way draft games work on Underdog is it's a combinations game more so than salary cap DFS, because the combinations are harder to get. So you just want to give yourself a lot of chances to get the right combinations for the right weeks.
All right. So give us like the 3 things that we need to know just going into this season. What's changed about strategy? What should we be doing for people like me? We're just kind of jumping into this.
All right. So biggest thing is that there are really about 8, maybe 11 good wide receivers for fantasy football in the entire NFL. We have never really had a situation like this in terms of like projections for fantasy football, where there's such a huge stratification amongst the really good wide receivers and the mid-tier wide receivers. Like we're talking like Chase and Jefferson scored, I believe, 2.5 more points per game than every other wide receiver who played 17 games last season. Like a true bifurcation at the position. The other thing you need to know is that in 2024, 2 running backs drafted in the top 100 picks on Underdog went on IR, Christian McCaffrey and Isaiah Pacheco. 33% of wide receivers drafted in the top 100 went on IR, either season ending or at least the 4-week IR at some point. So the results from last season, a lot of people are going into drafts being like, all right, man, I got to get my running backs. I got to get Derrick Henry. I got to get Joe Mixon. I got to get Najee Harris or whoever. I don't anticipate the season playing out the same way, with dominant running back scoring kind of being the story of the season. The NFL is always evolving. Last year, the cover 2, the shell coverage was the biggest story in football. And I think that we're going to see a lot of counterweights and counter punches from offensive coordinators this year.
So the years that you've been doing the best ball drafts now, whatever the consensus, obviously it's been one of the fun things about best ball is that maybe you think that the game is solved, but it does seem like whatever the consensus is.
I do not think that.
Okay, good. But going into the year, everyone's like, well, here's how you construct your teams. You need to have those week 17 correlations to make it happen. You need to go wide receiver heavy, 5 wide receivers in the first 5 rounds. Don't worry about running backs. That whatever that strategy is, it would be my advice just to do the opposite, and your team's probably going to be pretty good.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't suggest building, like let's say you're going to do 50 teams. Like you're just kind of casual, you have the app, but you're not like a sick person like me. My number one advice would just be don't build all your teams the same way. Sometimes you should start out with 3 straight wide receivers. Sometimes you should start out with 2 running backs on wide receiver. Sometimes you should take Brock Bowers. Sometimes you should take Trey McBride. Like I do think one of the big lessons I learned from last year, like basically I had like about as bad of a season as you could possibly have. I didn't draft very much Barkley, didn't draft very much Henry, didn't draft very much Alvin Kamara. Those guys were the 3 highest advance rate players in the pool outside of Jamar Chase. And, basically there was nothing I could have done. No other pick I could have done that would have surmounted just how many total points those guys scored weeks 1 through 15. So I'm very much looking to not make that mistake this year.
So what I'm going to get you to do, I'm going to hop over to Underdog right now. And when I have guests on for shows like this, what I want to do is, you talk me through the picks as we go along. We'll shoot the shit. Otherwise, you can see that up on the screen right now.
Beautiful.
There you go. We're gonna enter the puppy. It's only a $5 entry. Don't want to waste all my money right now. I'm doing a good enough job wasting all my money with Pick'ems for the moment. So 20 seconds per pick. Is that what we want to do?
No, we should do 30 seconds. 30 seconds per pick when you're drafting with someone. The 20 seconds goes by pretty quick. The 20 seconds is great for draft like people like me who just want to get drafts in. The math works out that if everyone used every second of every pick in a 30-second draft versus a 20-second pick per draft, you save 36 minutes per draft. So the 20 seconds per pick are really good. But if you're doing a show, you want to do a 30-second.
Yeah, you've been streaming these over at the Davis Mattek YouTube channel, right? Like every day?
Yes. Pretty much every day. I did an 8-hour stream this week, so I've been not every day this current week when I'm talking to you. But yeah, pretty much every day over at the Davis Mattek YouTube channel.
All right. How many rounds is this going to be? 20?
18. The pre-draft ones are 20. We go to 18 now.
18 rounds. So how do we want to theoretically allocate our positions? We want 3 quarterbacks or 2?
Theoretically, like the quote unquote most optimal roster construction, if you're thinking about the draft capital buckets, if you're thinking about, each pick cascading in value, is 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Now, obviously, if we don't take a quarterback until round 11, then maybe we'd consider a third one. If we start out 5 straight wide receivers, then probably we don't need an 8th, and we could take a 3rd tight end or a 7th running back. It's more about weighting the value of each selection, right? The higher up the draft board, the more valuable those projected points are.
All right, so give that to me again. How many optimal wise? How many quarterbacks? 2?
Optimal 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. That is the sort of the baseline optimal rate.
And we can see here, based on the ADP, Jamar Chase is just the first overall pick. Then Barkley, Jefferson, Bijan, Lamb. What do you make of Pickens going to Dallas? Like that, I feel like that helps Lamb in a weird way.
Yes. I think it certainly helps Lamb. Helps him 2 reasons. First being, just the amount of times that you can leave a safety over the top of him, because Pickens is like a pretty effective deep threat, pretty effective contested catch guy. And also it just is so much better for the offense to have a capable second wide receiver, right? Versus having Jalen Tolbert or Kavonte Turpin or Jake Ferguson as your Jonathan Mingo as your second guy. It's just, you just want to have a better offense, more points. Pickens over Turpin. I mean, how many points is that worth over the course of 17 games? Like, I don't know, 30 points worth to an offense or something like that.
Why do you think that they got rid of Pickens? Just because Mike Tomlin hated him?
I think it is they decided they would rather give the big contract extension to DK Metcalf for whatever reason. And maybe Pickens is an attitude guy. Maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't like George Pickens and really likes DK Metcalf. I think they looked at it from a salary cap perspective and they're like, all right, Arthur Smith is our offensive coordinator. Mike Tomlin's our head coach. We're not going to be a 600 passing attempt offense. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to pay what Metcalf got 4 years, $120 million, I think. Pickens probably would have just wanted that same deal. Doesn't make much sense to do your salary cap like the Cincinnati Bengals, where 30% of it goes to 2 wide receivers if you're going to throw the ball 407 times in a year.
That, I mean, even if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, that still really lacks a lot of sense.
I don't think that not for the Bengals. I actually think the Bengals, I mean, the error for the Bengals was not getting the contracts done sooner. They cost themselves, basically, if you look at the money that T and Chase got versus when they first started agitating for a contract, they basically cost themselves a starter level of salary. They could have paid those guys like cumulatively per year, like $8 or $9 million less had they gotten the deals. And Dallas does the same thing all the time. Dallas waited as long as possible to give CeeDee Lamb his extension, just like unforced errors.
Are you certain that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the Pittsburgh quarterback?
I'd make it like minus 135 right now.
All right, so like a 58% chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's locked in. I mean, we do have the Steelers and Jets playing week 1, which does feel a little bit like the league sort of tipping its hand. But I mean, the deal with Rodgers is like he loves this dude. The headline right now, if you have like do a Google News search on Aaron Rodgers, is he will neither confirm nor deny if he's married.
What?
If he like got go do a Google News search on Aaron Rodgers right now. It's and I know like people hate the Aaron Rodgers discourse. They're like, you just don't like him because of the vaccine stuff. No, I don't like Aaron Rodgers because he chased my friend Jeff Janis out of the NFL for absolutely no reason is why I don't like Aaron Rodgers. He's a jerk.
Where am I searching Google News?
Google News.
Aaron Rodgers update gives firm timeline for Steelers decision.
Do Aaron Rodgers marriage.
Well, yeah, if I type in Aaron Rodgers marriage, I'm sure that I'm going to get marriage.
I did this like 4 days ago. So now the schedule came out and it's different. But there you go.
Well, I just see that Aaron Rodgers dating history from Olivia Munn to Shailene Woodley. That's not saying anything.
More marriage confusion, stepping out with a wedding band on his finger, and he just won't say, of course, obviously he loves the speculation. He just won't say anything about it. Just classic Aaron Rodgers.
You told me that this best ball draft would fill like almost instantaneously. We've been waiting on 2 people now for like 10 minutes.
Let me go. I will go post in my Discord right now and we will fill it.
Should have done that probably before. Would have made more sense, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But now people are drafting, but now we're going to get your tainted influence from your people in here. I want to go into a clean draft.
Well, I'll do another little thing. The 20-second drafts fill a lot faster than the 30-second ones because it's not only, but I'd say it's about 97% sickos drafting right now. So these are people who want to draft quickly. It's self-selecting.
I see. I'm doing a live show in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I did see that where it's a live cuss corner.
It's a live cuss corner with 6 of us. So if people want tickets, you can hit the description right now. It's June 7th in Toronto during the afternoon. Meet and greet afterwards. Maybe we'll do something that night if we're still like have any energy left. But we're going to have Cam's going to be on stage. If you have a chance to like have a beer with Cam is basically what it boils down to. Who wouldn't want to do that?
I would like to do that. That sounds fun. That sounds fun to me. How's your golf game?
Well, it was going great until, here we go. Listen, all you needed to do was just click on it. My golf game was great until yesterday when I played. So here becomes the problem. I want to start hitting more draws, especially off the tee. And I have a natural over the top fade that I've basically got under control the past 3 years. So it actually turns pretty nice, but there's a lot of holes at my course which do demand a right to left off the tee, and if I hit a hybrid, I can hit that shot. If I hit a 5-iron, I can hit that shot. I cannot hit it with a driver. So I did a lesson, and like by the end of the lesson, I was hitting draws off the tee. I was like, perfect. Let me go put this into play. I couldn't hit the ball when I got on the course. Like when you're not at the simulator and taking lessons from the coach who can like walk you through it, it's just a totally different scenario.
Yes, that is 100% true. I'm not to a stage in my game where I attempt to do any of those things, a draw or a fade or whatever. But I have been, the thing I've been doing this year is years past, I've just been happy to shoot, 87 or whatever. I am using my driver now on all holes where it's like remotely applicable and just eating the bad scores, eating the slices or blocking it left or whatever. And it has been more enjoyable because I have just obviously like way more opportunities to make birdie on par fours and par fives now.
Oh, for sure. Well, we're picking 8th here. What do you think? That looks
So
like
that'll be
Puka or Genty.
Genty or a wide receiver, whoever. I'm kind of tempted to start taking McCaffrey there because that is where I think it's kind of where I think that is skating to where the puck is going.
Is there any way McCaffrey makes it back to us? Because I like McCaffrey too.
No chance. He mostly goes at the turn now. Like the guy at the 12 spot will take McCaffrey, and then whichever wide receiver is available. Sometimes it's Neighbors, sometimes it's Brian Thomas, sometimes it's Drake London, but that is probably whoever what in the 12 hole what they'll do.
I mean, I think I like Neighbors more than Puka or Genty, just volume wise. If Dart can just get him the ball, or whoever the hell is there can just get him the ball, then he's going to have it. He had a bonker season last year, and he had no one throwing him the ball. He was completely wide open, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, I sort of like Jackson Dart. I liked him a little bit as a prospect. He runs a little bit, and they're
McCaffrey Wentz. Can we take Neighbors or Puka?
Yeah, we can take Neighbors. We can take
I would prefer Neighbors.
Sure, let's do it.
So,
I've seen people take him at 1-3.
Do we think Dart's going to be the starter?
No. Russell Wilson will start, but the Giants have probably the hardest schedule imaginable. They go Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers, Eagles.
Outside of the Eagles, that sounds like a great start. That you play these teams that are going to put up points, so therefore you have to put up points against them.
Well, it's more that they're going to lose all those games and Russell Wilson is going to get benched. So
we're not stacking Neighbors. We just have him like by himself, or do we just take Dart in the last round?
Yeah, we can do Dart in the last round. I'm not taking Russell Wilson unless something like insane happens and I'm totally dead at quarterback.
We're up in 2 picks. Guys are coming off the board. Again, if you're listening to the audio, you can tune into the video to see who's being picked. I don't think it's very good conversation if I just say, well, Nico Collins just went, and then Brian Thomas just went, and then Drake London just went. I don't think people actually want to hear that. That'd be me. If I was listening, I would not want to hear that. So we're on the clock. We didn't get Bowers, and we're at 2-5 right now. That leaves us like Brown, A-Chain, McConkey, Jonathan Taylor. What do you suggest we do here?
I think we do A-Chain, because we are going to like the wide receivers a lot more at the 3-4 turn than we're going to like the running backs. So that'll get us to a nice positional start. We'll be able to go like A-Chain, Neighbors, Rashee Rice, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy, Devontae Adams, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, some combination of those guys.
When do we start taking quarterbacks?
There's a really nice window in rounds 8, 9, and 10 where like from Mayfield, you have like Mayfield, Mahomes, Murray, Caleb, Nix, Fields, Purdy, Goff, Dak, Herbert, May. There's just a whole list of those guys. I'm a little bit less interested in the super expensive guys here, but it's something I'm trying to work in a little bit more because obviously kind of those 4 guys are the guys who can get, 40 points in a week.
Well, if you take Allen, let's say we take Allen in the 4th with our pick, isn't it easy to load up on all the Bills receivers later on?
It is, but the Bills receivers are like sort of useless for fantasy. The stat I've been using to illustrate for that is a game that Josh Allen it's like, I believe it's the non-Lamar Jackson or non-Michael Vick record for fantasy points in a game from a quarterback. He scored 50 against the Rams. His highest scoring receiver in that game was Khalil Shakir with 19.1 half PPR points. So you could do it obviously, but it's not like I don't think it's instrumental in a Josh Allen strategy.
Sure. But again, we just said whatever happened last year, maybe you just kind of do the opposite of that. Maybe they have a more concentrated offense this year.
It didn't look that way from what they did in the offseason. If anything, I think they might find a way to actually be more scattered. They signed Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, retained Curtis Samuel, drafted Caden Prather, and then drafted 2 more tight ends too. So it's just like, it's kind of a mess.
Are they going to work it out with James Cook, or are they going to let him walk or hold out?
I don't really see any way it works out for James Cook to hold out, because
So does that mean like Ray Davis is the guy? If he's, let's just presume he's not there for a second.
Oh yeah, I mean, it would definitely mean Ray Davis is the guy. Ty Johnson is a 1 year $1.5 million with only half of that being guaranteed, and I don't even know who their, if James Cook did go, I don't know who their practice squad running back would be. Darrington Evans or Frank Gore Jr. was on the practice squad.
FG2, we're on the clock. We got Chase Brown, Kyron, Josh Allen, Mike Evans, Lamar, Brees Hall, Worthy as the highest rated guys, and we got 15 seconds.
I think we do Mike Evans here.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we don't have a quarterback that we like, because we don't really want to take Neighbors. We don't really want to do Dart. So I just like having that optionality. I would have taken Adams there. Really, any of these wide receivers is fine, but I definitely think we need a wide receiver.
All right, we took Evans. So that firmly places Baker on our radar now, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Kind of feel like Baker being drafted as QB7 is too much.
He does have the Liam Cohen thing, but of course, if we're sticking to our strategy of not doing what worked last year, everyone's falling all over themselves to declare Liam Cohen the greatest play caller of all time. Baker Mayfield, who got cut from the Browns and the Panthers and the Rams, they're saying this guy's the GOAT. So, if you are trying to zig while others are zagging, you're right that fading the Buccaneers is a pretty obvious one.
It's not that I want to fade the Buccaneers. I just think at QB7, although he does use his legs, he doesn't really rush in too many touchdowns for that super bonus in terms of the position. Like, I could see him being, I think he has the most passing touchdowns in the league over the past 2 years. But if you're not going to contribute as much as the very top end guys, I think for me, I would rather look down farther on that list and try to find a quarterback that can run, like find this year's Jaden Daniels or something like that. I drafted a ton of Jaden Daniels last year and it really worked out.
Yes. I mean, you are hitting at the core of it, which is that, yeah, you absolutely do want to be doing that. So this is why I thought it was good to do a wide receiver, because we can take Brees here and really wait a long time at running back, or we can take Hunter, or we can take Devonta.
Brees Hall, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's crazy that he's going in the 4th round. I think he's like got the same profile as like the 2nd round running backs.
He does. I mean, maybe the year after the injury, he ends up being a lot better. But it did seem, well, we'll see what happens with a new offensive coordinator in tow and just a new coaching staff with the Jets. But it seemed like they were actively trying to get rid of Brees Hall. Maybe that's just New York rumors, but that doesn't, I don't know, it's not good news.
You're right. Yeah, I wouldn't call it good news at all. But like, he's a really good running back. They running quarterbacks actually have like a huge positive influence on
the running game.
Right? Like, it's like worth like a half yard per carry. So I have a hard time thinking that this ADP makes much sense for Brees Hall.
I'm trying to see who. Man, people love Trayvon Henderson, huh?
Yes, people are pretty enthused about this guy in a timeshare with Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, it's like Harvey just went in this draft at 410 before DK Metcalf, before Mixon, before Hubbard. That feels like too fancy syndrome.
Well, it kind of depends on your perspective, right? Like,
my perspective is that I would like to try to make good picks. That doesn't seem like a good pick. He might be good, but I just don't get why you would take a guy we don't know what his role is going to be on Denver.
No, we don't. I've been pretty clear on that. Like, if you asked Sean Payton who his starting running back is right now, he definitely would not say RJ Harvey. He wouldn't just be like, yep, RJ Harvey's our guy. He would give you some convoluted answer. He'd mention Tyler Beatty.
And then when we see it play out in practice, he'll run 4 running backs.
Yes. But you know, I mean, even last year, like it has held true. Sean Payton backfields are top 5 in expected points for running backs every single year,
Sure, but
even if
it's
the
a
guys
lot better
suck.
when you're not top 5 in expected points for running backs, and you just have a guy who gets the ball all the time. That tends to be more helpful.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Well,
Yeah, so I think
we're
we
back
just
up.
click. Yeah, I think we just do Zay Flowers here. This is pretty big ADP fall on him.
Well, it's what, pick number 56. I mean, do you have to draft that way? Like, what if you don't like Zay Flowers?
No, you don't have to draft that way, and
Like,
I tend to think of it as just being, you know, a humility-based drafter.
all right. So let's go with Zay Flowers. We'll add him to the teams. We got Neighbors, Evans, and Flowers with Achane and Brees Hall. So we need to get a quarterback. What's the tight end market looking like right now?
It's basically Bowers, McBride, then pretty big fall to Kittle. You know, Kittle goes round 5, Laporta goes round 6, Hawkinson goes round 7. Then a grouping of guys from Jonnu down to Loveland who are kind of all in a tier and can go in any order. Then big gap there down to Tyler Warren for the Colts, Njoku for the Browns, Kraft for the Packers. Then again, another group there. I don't know. It's Kyle Pitts is kind of the last guy with like any ceiling that you can see.
Sure. Who did the Jags draft tight end?
No one. They
No
have
one?
they
So
have
they're just
Brenton Strange, who was college teammates with Tyler Warren, actually.
All right. So Brenton Strange actually probably becomes a pretty good pick. I played him a ton on DraftKings last year.
Yes. Yeah. I like Brenton Strange. And I think if he had any pedigree at all, he'd actually be going kind of in that Tucker Kraft here, but he doesn't. You know, he's a 5th round pick.
Gesicki, Otten, Chig, Sanders breakout.
You know, I mean,
Jatavion Sanders, that is.
I like kind of liked him as a prospect. He just, I mean, he was so brutal at the combine, but it's definitely possible. I think you know, either you do one of the first 3 guys, Bowers, McBride, Kittle, or you think about taking 3. You know, three tight ends is I think pretty fine if you're only taking late round guys.
So what's our strategy now? We're on the clock next. Do we go back to just another receiver? Since there's no, I mean, I don't hate this area. Like James Conner is just going to be perpetually not drafted, right?
Yeah, no one ever likes the old guys. I think we take Jawan Jennings here to set up another quarterback because when we took Flowers, you know, the quarterback was already gone, so we missed out on that. Jennings will give us another guy in that window when we're on the clock in round 9 or 10, round 9, 10.
What do you make of the Niners this year?
What do I make of the Niners this year? I make of the Niners that they have an insanely easy schedule, and people have sort of
They've soured.
forgotten. Yes, they've soured. They think, oh, you know, the offensive line is terrible. You know, it's all bad. Whatever. Kyle Shanahan's lost his magic. Purdy stinks. Ayuk's hurt. And I just think it's like pretty obvious that if McCaffrey's healthy and Ayuk gets back to some degree of his 2023 version of himself, they're going to be like the 4th best offense in football.
All right. So tell me why Quinshawn Judkins is going so highly and why Caleb Johnson is going so highly. Now, knowing Mike Tomlin, Jalen Warren's still going to be their guy the majority of the time.
Except Jalen Warren's been on the team for a long time, and they've never really trusted him to do much of anything.
Because they love plotting Najee 2 yards into the line of scrimmage. Now he's not there. They're just going to bring in a rookie and give him the ball? Who's he think he is? Fast Willie Parker?
Yeah, basically, I think they were like, all right, we're going to let Najee go. We're not paying him anymore. We're going to get Arthur Smith, his guy. I mean, Jalen Warren's definitely going to be involved. Like, don't get me wrong. You're like, he's going to get his 120 rushes and 40 catches or whatever. But Caleb Johnson is a very Arthur Smith. You know, it's like if Tyler Algier was good, or if Najee Harris was good. That's the Caleb Johnson profile.
Has Pittsburgh improved its offensive line at all?
I have no idea. It's hard for me to try and project offensive line improvements year over year.
Yeah, Ricky Bullets is going pretty highly here. So do we grab him in the anticipation that we're going to grab Purdy?
Yes. Yeah, I think we do.
Or do we take Ayuk and stay? Like, how long is Ayuk? Like, Ayuk's gonna be ready for week 1, isn't he?
There's just no
Bad vibes.
there's just no like clear reporting from the team. It's all been like doctors guessing on Twitter based on like workout videos, or he actually hasn't even posted a workout video. I saw most recent one I saw was how he looked at a charity golf tournament.
Sweet. What if those Twitter doctors are also like shilling you custom made supplements?
I mean, I probably wouldn't buy those
You
supplements.
love supplements. We lost out on Ricky Bullet, so do we just take Ayuk instead?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we take Ayuk, and so click on the draft board and see if that team right there has a quarterback.
They have McCaffrey, so they're going to
So
be in the market for Purdy.
But he also has Hurts, so that means that he probably there's like a pretty good chance that we are able to push Brock Purdy to our 10th round pick.
Do you think that? I mean, he's gonna get to pick twice between us. We
Correct.
pick before him right now, and then he gets to pick twice before it's our pick again.
He probably won't do the he definitely won't do it with the 8th round, and I don't think he'll do it with the 9th round. It depends how locked in he also might take Caleb Williams because he has Rome, so he might take Caleb Williams as well.
Okay, so we'll wait on. I'm going to trust you to wait on Purdy, although it does look like. Do we take Baker anytime soon?
Yeah. So Baker will, if Baker makes it to us at our next pick, we can take him. We'll see if there might be another obvious pick there.
What's the Godwin sitch?
Chris Godwin? I mean, it sounds like I think he is going to. He's the one who sounds like he's going to be ready to go in week 1.
All right. Well, who's the other dude they drafted?
Emeka Egbuka, who is maybe we can maybe just take him at 89 and only take 7 wide receivers on this team.
He's gone. Someone drafted him already.
Someone already took someone. It's okay. All right. So that might be a guy who takes Mayfield.
All right. So do we just punt off Mayfield then? Don't worry about him. We just have Mike Evans and we'll try to figure it. So we need to get Purdy. Our quarterbacks are going to suck.
Yes, they are.
Unless we load up on, I don't even know. Justin Fields and the Jets. Hey, we're on the clock.
All right. I think we do
Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Let's take Aaron Jones.
So running backs, we got 17 seconds here. Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, Pacheco.
I would do Pacheco.
I would do Pacheco too. Who's taking his job?
Eli Mitchell, Kareem Hunt, Rashard Smith.
So no one.
I don't know, man.
Pacheco is right. No one's taking his job.
That I don't think that is true. Pacheco has been a pretty inefficient runner for Kansas City, and
they like him. They like working him in. It's a lot like that Pittsburgh and Najee thing. I think they like the safety that they give him the ball, that he's going to try to get them hard yards. Sometimes you have to think about this from the football coach mentality, not, who is the most expected if he hits the outside. It's like, no, that guy might fumble, run the wrong routes, be terrible at blocking. They know when they give Pacheco the ball, he's going to do what he's supposed to do.
Well, I mean, I think they feel the same way about Kareem Hunt too, though.
Yeah, but Pacheco is better than Hunt. If he's right.
He is if he's right. But I mean, that injury that Pacheco suffered is the same one that like ruined Tony Pollard, had Mark Andrews looking like a corpse for the first 6 weeks last year. Like that tightrope procedure is pretty gnarly.
It is, but he was at least already able to come back. Looked like dog shit, but now he has 8 months off.
Yes.
So I would hope. I mean, I would take in this part of the draft. I'd at least take the chance that he's okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like
I like.
You don't have
Pacheco.
to agree with me.
I like Pacheco. I find it hard to be like he's definitely better than it, because the issue that I think we might have is Pacheco might like start the year clearly as the lead back, but just play poorly based off of. He's got that explosive, he has that really violent running style where it looks like he's like mad at the ground, and I don't know how well that works with the tightrope procedure.
So when do we go to Purdy?
When do we go to Purdy? Probably here. Yeah, 104.
Well, if this guy doesn't take Purdy, then we can probably wait.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Is there any other? Who's another Niner that we can throw into this if we wanted to, or we just don't? We go Jennings, Ayuk, and that's it.
It'd be Isaac Guerrero, the running back too.
Oh yeah, because they got rid of what's his face. He went to Minnesota, didn't he?
Yeah, he got traded, Jordan Mason.
Yeah, that's a guy. My keeper team could have used him to stay in San Francisco and McCaffrey to be dead.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Would have been nice. Yeah, if this guy doesn't take Purdy, we can take Kelsey, we could take Tracy, we could take Charbonnet, we could take someone like Bo Nix or whatever and set up Evan Ingram or set up Marvin Mims or Pat Bryant.
Would it be more helpful to get good players?
We're 100 picks into the draft. Good players are kind of gone.
There's some decent players here. We'll see if this guy picks Purdy, we're screwed. Oh, Kelsey's still on the board? Guy rules.
People are saying it might be a little cheap for a guy who had 97 receptions at the tight end position last year.
And you'll want him down the stretch. He's probably not going to do much for the first 10 weeks of the year. But when they need him, they'll lean on him.
Yeah.
All right. So we lost Jalen Warren, but we can get Brock Purdy now with this pick.
Well, no, now we don't have to.
Now we don't have to take him. That's right.
So we either take Kelsey or a running back. I think we could take Tracy. We could take Mason. We could take Bo Nix if we want to set up another quarterback. But yeah, because
let's take Kelsey.
Okay.
You like Kelsey or Andrews?
I like Kelsey. Yeah. I mean, I think they're both kind of being unfairly discounted for ageist reasons.
Now, listen, I'm feeling that as someone who's I feel like I've been sick for 2 months, but I turned 40, so I might just be old, and this is how it is now.
Well, yeah, and I think that is where Travis Kelce is at in his career, which is sad to see, but happens to the best of us, Pat.
Well, it happens to all of us.
It's true. The best, and the worst of us. So we'll take.
Do you think this Brenton guy ever gives himself the stranger?
Oh, assuredly he does.
You would have to, right?
He would have to. Yeah, I mean that'd kind of be his raison d'etre. So we'll get Purdy with this next pick. The thing then we have to think about is, do we want to?
It's Jackson Dart, Darius break the Slayton.
It's probably Darius Slayton. Yeah.
It's not Wendell. I'll tell you that much.
No, it's not. The Giants play the Raiders in week 17. So we could do, there's Besh, there's Dante Thornton, there's Trey Tucker. So there's some bringbacks if we want to do that.
So this pick is Purdy, right?
Yeah, this pick is Purdy.
So now, we need to set up our other stacks. If we take Dart, this is probably get another running back or two. We might need to have 3 quarterbacks in this one. If we end up going with Dart.
Yeah, if we do Dart, this is probably trending because we took Kelsey, so this is probably trending more towards a 3 quarterback, 7 wide receiver team, I think.
How many tight ends would that facilitate then?
2. That would just be Kelsey and one other guy. So we've got
Trevi. Has Trevi gone yet?
Oh, well, actually, Dart is not great for this team because he and Purdy both have a week 14 bye.
Okay, so good to know.
So something we could do is we could take like Drake May and a late Patriot. We could take Justin Herbert.
Hold on, Drake May hasn't gone. Drake May is gone, man.
Drake May's not gone.
He is.
No, he's there.
Quarterback number. He won his quarterback 16.
No, Mayfield is gone.
Oh, I see. All right, maybe I had that backwards then. Who was the guy you just said?
Drake May, and then we could take Hunter Henry, we could take Demario Douglas, we could take Kayshon Boutte, we could take Kyle Williams.
Oh my God, that sounds horrible. Can we just do we have to stack him up? Can we just take Drake May? You mentioned the Josh Allen thing off the top. He scores points exactly the same way Josh Allen does.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely do not have to you do not have to stack Drake May.
Who's one of the besides Brian Thomas, and Travis Hunter. Who is the other Jacksonville receiver?
You've got De'Ami Brown and
Oh,
Parker
God.
Washington. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But we could go Trevi, De'Ami Brown, and Brenton Strange if we wanted to fill out a tight end that way and have a quarterback.
Yes.
And then
yeah.
we could take Drake May too, as just kind of like him flying solo.
We could do that. I like the Lawrence backstack is kind of interesting.
It's
I'm trying
cheap
to
if
think.
nothing else.
Yeah. Click on his I need to check. I don't know his bye week yet. Make sure it's not week 14.
It's week 8.
By week 8. Okay.
And May is week 14 as well.
Yeah.
Jordan Love hasn't been drafted yet? Okay. So who just went? Goff. The Goof just went. Tyler Warren just went. Is Tyler Warren actually going to be any good in Indianapolis? Or are they just going to be like, oh, now we have 8 tight ends we can use?
I think the issue is more quarterback related. Like I think Warren is going to play well and play a lot, but who's delivering him the ball?
Do we have to take Garendo now?
No, we do not have to take Urendo now because he's not even that important to our team. You know, we'd be fine taking Jordan James if we needed to. I like doing the is Kyle Williams still available? He's not. He's gone.
Okay.
We could
Lawrence just went, so we just missed out on that.
Okay, let's take Drake May. Yeah, sure. I like Drake May. I like Drake May quite a bit. And Hunter Henry can be our second tight end.
Oh God.
Hey. Hunter Henry's
sucks.
No, Hunter Henry's fine.
All right, so I'm getting rid of Jackson Dart, and I'm getting rid of Brenton Strange and De'Ami Brown.
Yes.
It's gonna, like, with the team that we've drafted with 2 quarterbacks with the same bye week, like we can't go with Dart in case he's not the starter.
Oh shit.
See how that works?
No, Pat.
What?
I wasn't paying attention. Drake May also has a week 14.
That's what I just told you.
Yeah. My brain was not working.
You owe me $5, pal.
I owe you $5. Okay, so what can we? You know what we have to do now?
Take Garendo?
No, we have to pivot to like a Cam Ward, Tyler Lockett third group.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is there
something like that, or Richardson?
I mean, is what's Addison's deal? Is Addison suspended?
I mean, no announcement on that yet, but sounds like he probably will.
But he's already drafted anyway.
Yeah. We could, we could do. Actually, with this pick, let's take Ramondre.
Really?
If he's there, yeah. Ramondre and May can be like lightly correlated.
We just don't want to take like Tajay Spears if we're going to go down this Cam Ward rabbit hole.
No, because there'll be like legitimately like last round guys that we can do to wrap.
Should we take Stevenson or should we take Garendo, who might not make it back to us now?
Yeah, let's take Garendo. We actually I think we're fine with the bed we've made on Drake May. I think it's whatever. And Hunter Henry is a better pairing for him anyway.
Yeah, but we have to make sure. Okay, we have Kelsey with the week 10, but I didn't want to stack up all of our tight ends with the same.
Yeah, that would have been non-ideal. All right, so we got Garendo. That's a pretty strong. Our running back room is not too bad.
All right, I'll highlight. So if there's one Patriots receiver that you would want that's not Steph Diggs, who would it be?
Kyle Williams, but he's already gone.
You don't think it's going to be like DeMario Douglas again, just underneath?
No, Kyle Williams is probably a better.
Well, he's gone, so we can't draft him, Davis.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
We probably can't even add, honestly, another Patriots receiver because we have too many week 14. Because Neighbors is a week 14 bye too. Like we're gonna have no one playing in week. Isn't that like the first round of the playoffs?
No, week 15 is. So maybe this team is already so good by week 14 that our lead is insurmountable.
That's what I like to hear.
That is also what I I like to hear.
Tua is pretty like who if
the issue is like Tua without Tyreek or Waddle or Jonnu. I guess we have A-Chain. So that could work.
Is there anyone else on the Dolphins?
Nick Westbrook-Akeen.
Oh, Westbrook, I mean, he'll catch like 9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Malik
he does not have a
Washington.
quarterback who can go over the top. That could be an issue.
Yeah. Malik Washington could work, if you really wanted to get.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out if we go. So Tua, Cam Ward, Bryce Young. Bryce Young's still there. I mean, Geno's still there.
Yeah, we can do.
And you said that correlates with our week 17, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, we could do Geno and Dante Thornton, Geno and Trey Tucker. I like the Raiders. I think they're in like a pretty good spot.
All right, let's see here. We got Trey Tucker. We'll throw him. Oh, sideshow Raheem Mostert's on the. Totally forgot he's on that team.
He is. There you go. There's your Ashton Genty handcuff.
Oh my God, Ian Thomas and Michael Mayer are still on the team.
Michael Mayer, I think, is going to play quite a bit. Actually, there's been some good. I mean, they led the NFL in 12 personnel last year, and
that's because they had no receivers and they had a super tight end along with the guy they spent a ton of draft capital on anyway.
You know what? Let's actually just not do that, and let's just take Tua with A-Chain.
All right.
Week 17, A-Chain scores 2 receiving touchdowns, and it's nice and easy.
We also probably need him to do things in week 14 too.
Let's see. Who do we think the Dolphins play in week 14? Let's see if it's a good spot.
All I know is that we're doing the schedule release show, releasing it on Tuesday just because Cust was away, and he's been complaining for 2 days about Miami's schedule. So I assume it's easy.
Okay, so it's not great week 14. They play at the New York Jets in week 14, so not the best.
Yeah, but that's not that late in the year. You gotta remember.
No, but it is cold.
It could be cold.
New York on December 7th. In my mind, that's cold.
All right, well, it's not. It's fine.
All right. I mean, look, man, you know all about that stuff from being out there in in Atlantic time.
What so do we want to go with Nick Westbrook, Ikena, or Malik Washington, or just say screw it? We have A-Chain and we have Tua.
No, yeah. I think we have A-Chain, we have Tua. We're good there. And actually, I mean, honestly, like if we wanted to, we could just do 4 running backs.
Yeah, I don't feel great about that.
This is a team where, I mean, actually this team, other than the May pick, which kind of got away from me, I'm gonna take that one on the chin. That one was on me. This is coming together pretty nicely.
All right, I have to do my 80-year-old grandfather keeps calling me, so I'm gonna put myself on mute. You just tell me who to take when it's time, okay?
Okay.
Have you been looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort? I know that I am on the golf course. The CBD gummies from Cornbread Hemp are formulated to work with your body and not against it. Cornbread Hemp CBD gummies are made to help you feel better, whether it's stress, discomfort, or you just need a little relaxation. They only use the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD. All products are third-party lab tested and USDA organic to ensure safety and purity. Right now, Pat Mayo Experience listeners can save 30% on their first order. Just head to cornbreadhemp.com/PatMayo and use code PatMayo at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/PatMayo. Use code PatMayo. There's only one thing I'm really looking for. Well, 2 things with underwear. I need comfort, to properly firm my junk up in my pants. And I don't want it to be boxy. I don't want it to be lumpy when you look at me. I don't want to look like I have fat rolls at the top of my thighs, which I don't, by the way, but bunchy boxers will do that to you. So I need comfort, I need fit, and I need them to be very comfortable. That's where Skims comes in. When I found out that Skims was making underwear for men, I had to admit, I was pretty excited. My wife, all in on Skims. When the Skims package arrived at my door, my wife was pumped that I got her some Skims. Like, no. Sorry, babe. Those are for me. And they have been fantastic. So comfortable. Wear them almost every single day right now. I got to go buy some more because I don't have a full complement. I don't want to be doing laundry like every 2 days. So, I'm not someone who's going to double up on underwear. I'm not a psychopath, and neither should you be. But if you get some Skims, you can get as many to fill out your entire wardrobe, and you will live in the comfort zone. That's where you want to be, and that's what Skims can provide for you. Shop Skims Men at skims.com and all Skims stores. Let them know that I sent you. After you place your order, select Podcast in the survey and select the Pat Mayo Experience in the drop-down menu that follows. Skims is the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball.
All right, we are up in 2 picks. We have 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end. We definitely probably want to save space for 1 Patriots wide receiver. The running back room, the running back group, we could probably do with like a chaperone here. So you know what? Actually, let's take someone I haven't been taking time. Let's take Tank Bigsby. He's kind of like the last of a tier here. He's probably the running back 2 on the Jaguars. Kind of depends on what happens, but it's really interesting that everyone has just decided this this rookie from Virginia Tech, who was so good at the combine, Bashal Tutin, is going to threaten for lead back duties. But I've been doing this long enough to remember plenty of running backs drafted in round 4 that we all loved and got enthused about, who never played and never mattered for fantasy. So I'm a little bit more into Bigsby. I actually have a video up on my YouTube channel if you are interested in these sorts of things about the Jacksonville Jaguars running back room, because it is a spot that we want to be invested in. There's so many points available in the Buccaneers backfield last year. And I actually think the Jaguars have a chance, and I mean, famous last words, to be one of the more ascending offenses in the NFL this year. I think adding Hunter over all the guys who played opposite Brian Thomas Jr. last year should make them a lot better. And we've seen a good season out of Trevor Lawrence in the past. Like, Trevor Lawrence has had a really strong fantasy season in 2022, 4,100 yards, 25 touchdowns. I think Kirk finished as the top 15 wide receiver that year. Zay Jones, of course, was the guy you needed in the best ball playoffs. Evan Ingram had 73 receptions, 750 yards, and 4 touchdowns in a limited time span. And Marvin Jones was on that team too. So we've seen it before.
I'm back.
We're back. Glad you were able to speak to your grandmother.
My grandfather. It was about his
Grandfather.
lobster cracking tools and a piece of land he wants me to buy with him.
It's a call many of us dream to get.
Yeah, listen, I was complaining the other day because like Mother's Day absolutely wore me out because we had my wife, my mom, my mother-in-law, and both of my grandmas. And I was like, yeah, I probably should just kind of embrace that all these people are still alive. This is probably pretty good and more than most people get.
Yeah, that's a good day, man, even if it is absolutely exhausting.
It was cooking for like, so everyone was invited from like both sides of my family. So it was like 30 people. And of course it's at my house. So I'm doing all the cooking and everything like that. I was just like, whoa, gotta go lie down.
Yeah,
All right, we're up here. What are we doing? Nice fill, by the way.
So we definitely need a wide receiver. Is Hunter Henry gone? Yeah, I think he is.
He is.
Okay. I think show me our wide receivers. Neighbors, Evans. Okay, we need a young guy. Take Pat Bryant here.
Pat Bryant. What do you make of his prospects for the Broncos here? Is he going to start?
I think he will just replace the Devon Vele, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Brandon Johnson snaps from last year, which were not valuable in and of themselves, but would be valuable if you add all of them up together. And
I hold on. I know this is weird.
Yeah,
but I don't think that Tutu Atwell is a terrible pick.
Tutu Atwell is a good pick.
If Puka or Devontae go down, he's the guy who's going to get the reps.
Yeah.
Throwing him on the list.
I mean, and he's probably going to get the reps anyways because Demarcus Robinson is a 49er, and McVay runs a lot of 11 personnel, so he's probably going to get a good amount of snaps anyways, unless you think he just like gets outplayed by Jordan Whittington. But they paid him $10 million to be on the team this year.
Yeah, but that was before they signed Adams.
Well, yeah, but they probably internally they knew they were going to get him, right?
I mean, I don't know that. They might have felt they needed to make the move on Atwell because they knew the Cup was leaving, and then all of a sudden they could go get Adams. They're like, all right, let's go do that. That's obviously the right move, but I don't know if those two things necessarily correlated to each other. Just one happened, then the other opportunity came up, like this land deal, apparently.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we're on the clock. Yeah, like do we take Tutu?
No, we should take Demario Douglas.
Can we afford to have another week 14 bye at wide receiver? We only have 3 guys not on a week 14 bye.
Actually, you know what? You're right. Take Tutu. He's a fun pick. Click the tight end tab. Our quarterbacks are, so there's no Bears tight end we're taking for Purdy. There's no Mason Taylor's gone. And then the Dolphins play the Bucks. We could take Cade Otton as a bring back for our week 17 game if he's still there.
Otton, Juwan Johnson, just to have a live body.
Yes, and he correlates with who? The Titans. Yeah, so no, never mind.
No, Cade Otton is gone.
Cade Otton is gone. I mean, look, we could take Theo Johnson and just say the Giants passing game. Jay Dart, neighbors, and Theo are the Bash brothers out there.
Canadian too, Theo Johnson. Is he going to be ready for? I know he got hurt at the end of last year. That's why I say that.
Yeah, he's got a foot injury. Based on my understanding, yeah, he is. He's good to go. But that stuff can change, whatever. But it sounds like he's already recovered from the foot surgery. But those Liz Franks, I mean, they can kind of stick around for a while, so it's hard to say.
Juwan Jennings just seems like he's going to play and be fine. He's not good, but he's out there.
Yes. I mean, hey man, maybe Tyler Shuck ends up being okay. You never know.
Do you think he's going to end up starting, or do they go back to Ritter?
Rattler.
Yeah,
I think he's probably going to start. I think their organizational plan is it's fine if we suck because we've started the pain. So Carr's gone. His dead money will be off the books in a year. We got rid of some other dead money. Maybe we move Olave, get off of his money, and either Tyler Shuck is good and they have a quarterback, or Tyler Shuck stinks and they have a chance to get another quarterback next year. That sounds like the 2026 class has a little bit more upside at the quarterback position. There's this guy, Lenore Sellers from South Carolina, LSU guy, Garrett Nussmeier, Drew Aller from Penn State. Like there are enough guys that you can kind of tell yourself maybe someone will show up.
Who is your favorite last pick? Because we're in round 17, so we're going to take, I'm guessing, Theo Johnson here. And then we'll just say with our last pick, we just go YOLO with someone. Who is it that you like down here? Are you buying into Blake Corum again?
I like both the Rams backup running backs, Corum and Hunter. I like Brashard Smith. I like Ollie Gordon. If we wanted to take another Dolphin, do the 2 Dolphins running backs and say it's Mostert and it's
You mean A-Chain?
Well, no, like the Mostert A-Chain backfield where they finished running back 2 and running back 4.
That'd be tough.
Would be tough, but there's a lot of backfield points available there. They don't really throw to a third wide receiver.
They don't, but do we know that Gordon is the backup? It's not Jalen, right?
No. On May 16th, we definitely do not know. But I like Brashard Smith for the Chiefs. I like Woody Marks for the Texans.
Okay, see that intrigues me a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean
Although
he's
already he's not drafted yet. Perfect.
He's a pure pass catching style back, but
so he replaces Dare.
Yes, yeah, that would be the thought.
And with a terrible offensive line that only seemingly got worse, maybe they do have to pass quickly a little bit more.
Yeah, and it seems like they really wanted him because they waited to pick him until round 4, but they traded a future third to get him, which is just always kind of interesting.
Other than that, we probably do need one more running back, right? We have 5?
Yeah, we could do one more running back. We could take anyone we wanted. Savion Williams is my favorite last round wide receiver. 3rd round pick to the Green Bay Packers from TCU.
He's just going to be another one of their random dudes.
Already drafted.
Must be someone from your draft.
It is. Yeah.
This happened to me in all my PGA best ball drafts, and all the guys that I liked in the later rounds just would be gone. I'm like, oh crap! Now I need to find new guys who I don't like.
That's not that fun, but what can you do?
So it looks like
Trying to think if there's anyone that correlates to our core. Actually, you know what? Because of the bye weeks, we need a wide receiver because our bye weeks are so weird.
All right, give me a wide receiver.
Just show me the wide
Tyler
receiver tab.
Lockett.
You know what? Take Roman Wilson.
Steelers?
Steelers.
Did he even play last year?
No, he was hurt all year. He had a bad ankle injury.
And we're sure that's okay?
I mean, I do wonder if part of why they were comfortable moving on with Pickens was thinking that they were at least going to give him a chance to play. I mean, he's a third round pick. There's been a lot of third round picks for the Steelers who were very good fantasy players.
Yes, but at the same time, it's tough to walk in there when it's an unknown throwing the ball at anyone. Oh, it's probably Aaron Rodgers. Like, even if they get Aaron Rodgers, I don't know how to feel about this. Do you think that it was just a Jets drain on him if he goes to the Steelers? He kind of has to play ball a little bit.
It's just Rodgers is not playing ball, man.
Is he a hero of yours?
He used
should be.
Look, I feel that I can actually claim to be one of the few unbiased people on Aaron Rodgers because I used to be, when everyone was shitting on him when he played so bad, like 2017 through 2019, I was one of the few people defending him. And like I said, my distaste of Aaron Rodgers has nothing to do with like going on the Joe Rogan podcast or whatever. I do not care. That is not what I dislike about him. I dislike that my friend, Jeff Janis, bailed him out in a playoff game, caught 101 yards on one drive, an NFL record that I would assume will never be topped. And then Rodgers said, "Get out of here. I want Jake Kumaro on the team instead."
What's Jeff Janis up to these days?
He owns an auto body shop in Michigan.
Nice.
Good dude. Good dude. Salt of the earth, Jeff Janis.
Just like you.
I think I'd have a hard time claiming salt of the earth, Pat. You know, I haven't had dirt under my fingernails in a long time.
You're not, if your car breaks down, you're not changing the gaskets?
I can do that. I can do some stuff
Okay.
on a car. I can't.
But we all know you're just you probably drive an EV.
No, I drive a 2011 Honda Civic with 150,000 miles on it.
And it goes?
Oh yeah. Runs great. I only stopped driving the car that I drove in college, and I'm 32 years old, almost 33, last September because a lady T-boned me at an intersection, and it was just not worth getting the car, like having all the body work done.
What was the insurance payout on that?
Very small, because the Kelley Blue Book value of my car was like nothing. It was like $800. It was a 2005 Ford Focus that I'd driven since I was 20.
Yeah, it feels like it's even, I guess, because it's, I mean, if it was written off, it feels like it should be more than that with the price that cars go for now.
Yes. Yeah, it should have been. I mean, this gal, it was a bit of a nightmare, actually. Like, just like the shittiest, cheapest, slimiest auto company. Like, it was not a good deal. And you know me, like, I don't really care about anything. So I was just like, I'm not going to fight this, whatever.
Yeah.
And we bought my wife a new car, and then I got her old car.
And if she's not using the new car, do you go to use the new car?
Yeah, although it's like it's really nice. It's like a brand new RAV4 with like no miles on it, and it honestly feels like a bit ostentatious to drive. Like, it's so nice. I'm like, oh, I don't really know if I deserve this. You know what I mean?
No, I absolutely have no idea about that feeling.
I've driven junky beater car. I mean, like I said, I've been driving the same 2005 Ford Focus since I was 20. Like, I'm used to driving old beaters.
I listen, I had the same experience. The car that I had in university was a 1989 Cavalier Z24. And this was in 2005 or something like that. And it was my uncle's car before that. And he moved to Dallas, then he moved to LA. And I went down to LA and drove it back. And so it had 300,000 miles on it or something, and no air conditioning. So that was a lot of fun.
The heater didn't work in mine.
So that finally crapped itself out, I think, my last year of college. So I bought a 1998 Saturn wagon. I don't think they make Saturns anymore.
I've not heard that brand name in a long time, so I think you're probably right. I don't think they make Saturns anymore.
Fun part too, both stick.
See, I can't drive stick. Not salted
So
either.
you can't
Not
drive a car.
not a man of the people. Can't drive stick.
I mean, just not even a man of the people, just not a man.
My wife can drive stick. She has a Jeep.
So she's the man of the house.
Oh, for sure, dude.
That makes more sense.
I don't fight against that at all. She makes the decisions. I'm just here to hang out.
But then when I moved to Toronto, and then subsequently I moved to New York and then back to Toronto, I didn't own a car for 10, 12 years, something like that. And by the time like by then my wife didn't have a car either. Then we got married. Then we moved into our place. Didn't need a car because we lived in downtown Toronto. Just either took an Uber or a subway everywhere. And then once she got pregnant, we're like, well, we probably need a car now in order to take our child to doctor's visits, go to the hospital. Like the requirements in Canada to get your kids out of the hospital is so much different.
I would imagine.
You need to prove I mean, maybe it's the same in the States. I don't know. But you have to prove you have a car seat, that you know how to use it. Like they won't release your child unless you have a modicum of safety.
That's interesting. I'm glad. Canadian children welfare. It's very important.
I think they have services at the hospital as well that if you can't afford a car seat or you don't have a car, they'll figure out a way to teach you how to do this stuff, give you an older one, that kind of thing that's still up to safety standards, and walk you through the process. It's not like they steal your child or don't let you leave, but they want to at least get you up to date a little bit on what you're supposed to be doing to keep the kids safe.
Good for them. Good for them.
Big lib
there's
Canada. A large portion of the audience who would hate that idea.
Yeah. Any American listening to this is like, fucking nanny state, Canada. Yeah, right. 51st state.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Sending these bombs with love, brother. We're getting rid of that shit.
That's you. You can go fight on the front lines.
47's going to have a hard time recruiting me to the Canadian war effort. I got to be honest.
It's maybe just a trade war anyway.
Maybe the Quebec separatists, they could recruit me.
Well, I mean, they don't want to say it's the Alberta separatists now. Quebec's not even talking about separating.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah.
That's what's happening up here. Although I've really scaled back on being on the internet. I mean, I'm still on the internet because I'm doing this show, but just my day-to-day life, I just stopped reading everything. I felt like I wasn't inching towards being terminally online, but I was being online way too much. Especially because I was over, I just got back from Europe, and maybe this is more of a take cast type thing. Do we have time for a take cast to bank you one for next week?
No, sadly.
Okay, so we can do it now.
Okay.
We took a lot of trains, going around Europe. So you're killing an hour and a half. There's nothing to do on the train. You can look out the window. It goes through if you're in a nice spot, in an open field, or you see some sights, that's awesome. But when we took the train from Munich to Vienna on our honeymoon, you go through the Alps. It's very scenic. Taking the train from Luxembourg to Brussels is you're just going by a highway. There's nothing really to see besides farm field. So I was just on my phone a whole bunch because we took a train every single day for an hour or an hour and a half. So I was just reading Reddit, and I was like, this is breaking my brain. I got to get off this.
No, that's not good for anyone. I've been reading books. I just have been as often as possible just setting my phone down, putting it somewhere. I get done working, I go upstairs, I'm on the couch. That would be a 30-minute scroll fest or whatever. And I have 3 books literally just sitting around my house. And instead of being on my phone, just read.
I can do that. It's funny because most of the books that I own are just a collection of short essays anyway. That it's not
easy to get through.
You don't have to sit down and read 120 pages of something. You can bang out 30 and you're done. Because the problem is I don't come back to books all that often. If I'm locked into a book, I'm going to read it. But if it is a collection of short stories, then I could put the book down for 4 weeks and not forget where I'm at.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll always be reading one fiction book and one nonfiction book. That way, if I only have 7 minutes or whatever, I can just pick up the nonfiction book and it just will, you just have less detail that you have to recall, less character motivation and things like that.
We have to also get off our phones. We've made a concerted effort to be off of our phones in front of the kids because they're picking up
Yeah,
picking
that's
up
big.
that habit.
That's big.
So we have two options. We can just like get rid of our phone, or a few options. You can get rid of your phone. You can start reading a book. You can sit there and talk to them, which, good God, 6 and 5, like they're not
They
they're
don't
not
got that
super
much to
engaging
say.
that way. They just want to like run around and be crazy people. So most of the time you're just like, no, don't hit your brother. Don't do that. It's more like that. Or you can buy, I think it's like a book that has like a cutout in it where you can put your phone and just be on your phone while it looks like you're reading a book.
That is modern parenting. That is parenting in 2025, Pat.
That's where I think that we're probably going to end up.
I think that's a good
your
call.
friends and wife Instagram reels all the time? Like DM them?
No, I delete Instagram off my phone. I just don't have it. I have an account, but I don't have the app because that is like true. Like at least if I'm on Twitter, I can tell myself this can generate future earnings for me. This can lead to more views, more follows, which will then be more YouTube views, which will be more people I can sell stuff to, whatever. But I can't even tell myself that lie on Instagram, so I just don't even have it.
Instagram is the only of the social media apps I find that at least I get a little bit of positivity out of.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it doesn't
like it.
actively make me feel horrible.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like watching my old skateboarding videos and bodybuilders and stuff. But like, it's just I'll sit there. I'll lose an hour, dude.
So the bodybuilder stuff. I feel like we're going about this all wrong. Modern influencers have ruined people's minds with this stuff. Because I know and like I'm susceptible to it as well. Like there's a few bodybuilding type exercises that I'm doing to like, and it works. Like grow your arms, grow your chest, all that kind of thing. But it's not functional for day-to-day life. Like people shouldn't be training like this.
No, but it's still better than
Not doing
training
anything
at all.
Sure, but I don't know, there has to be some sort of happy medium here where you're doing calisthenics training and building like real functional strength rather than I can bench press a ton, but I also can't lift my arms up like this for more than 3 seconds without being winded.
I mean, if you can bench press a ton or deadlift a ton or squat a ton, that is like, even if you can't do these other functional, flexible things, it's still adding so much to your longevity and your ability to power your body through your 50s, through your 90s, that I just like, you are totally 100% right. A lot of people would be better off being more flexible, being more mobile, being more athletic, and you should do, box jumps, sled pushes, sled pulls, things like that.
I mean, I see. I don't even think you need to be doing all that crap. Like you can be doing weight training and resistance training and like maxing that out, but you don't need to get big in order to do that. I'm talking about like Pilates, yoga, like stuff like that. Like mixing that in instead of like another max lift day, my second big chest and arms day. Like it will do so much for you, and you won't look like a fucking mutant.
Yeah, but for you basically lose about 1.5% of your muscle every year naturally once you turn 40. So having a bigger mass of that to start losing is, I mean, it's like not even close. It will extend your life.
Sure, I'm not saying don't do resistance training. I'm just saying there's more functional ways.
Well, most people don't have the time to do both.
Yeah, the people I'm talking about do because they're already doing it.
Yeah,
but they're only doing powerlifting
though.
stuff.
Being able to bench 225 is cool, man.
Great, that's awesome. It's also going to like blow out your shoulders like this because if you're like someone like my size, like I can get up 225 as well, but I just stopped doing bench presses because it was like hurting my traps and my shoulders. Like it was putting so much.
You're probably not doing it right.
I mean, it's hard. Like once you get up to a certain weight, it's hard to have the proper form.
It is hard to do it. Yeah.
Like if I was benching like my weight, if I was doing 165s, like I can just kind of bang those out. So I went back to doing that, but I was like, I don't even need to. What do I need to do bench presses for? What am I doing? How is this helping me my day-to-day life? It's not.
I mean, you're like, and so that is a good point. Is that like everyone has their own goals or whatever, and like some people, like I would say for a lot of people, like getting bigger and getting stronger and like getting a cool pump or like having big shoulders, like that is the thing that like gets their dopamine going, and being flexible just like doesn't do it for them. Like going to Pilates or like whatever, But I mean, it's so funny because this is such a subset of people because Americans are so fat.
Yeah, everyone's kind of fat now.
Yeah, like
the biggest export that America gave the world was everyone getting fat.
Yeah, like I'm probably like 17 pounds overweight right now, and I work out every day.
Yeah, I mean, I work out every day now too, but like I bulked up a lot. I had surgery in the winter, so I gained some weight there, and I have been like because I was powerlifting when I came back because I was under the same impression as you. It's like I need to get big, I want to grow out, and I did. I put on a bunch of weight, but I'm probably 15 pounds heavier than I was at the start. Now the problem is actually trying to cut it and getting back to not how I used to be, but like my diet has changed so much from what I used to be eating that I feel like I overeat now, where I'm not doing the same sort of powerlifting stuff. Like I'm back to playing golf 3 times a week. So I'm getting in, like 8 miles every time
Yeah,
that
a
I
lot of
go out.
steps.
How accurate do you think Apple Watch tracking is?
Calorie tracking?
Yeah.
Or the calorie tracking is useless. You
When
shouldn't
you say
even look at
useless,
it.
what does that mean? Because obviously you're burning calories. It's better than not knowing.
I would say it could be off in either direction by a factor of 50 to 75% either direction.
75%. That sounds impossible.
That's based on Dr. Andy Galpin, who was at UC Davis and now is at Parker University. He does this podcast called Perform, and he does a bunch of studies and everything. And they did a study with Apple Watches compared to their like in lab stuff where they literally have a mask on you measuring your carbon dioxide, so they know like to the microgram how many calories you're burning, and they found bands of error that wide with Apple Watches.
So I think that like 25% makes more sense as like sort of the range higher or lower. And so probably always overestimating your calorie burn is what I would say.
It's definitely overestimating. Yeah.
So what I've done is I put myself in as 30 pounds lighter than I actually am to hopefully,
that's smart. That's
hopefully
smart.
make up the difference.
I would say the thing that I track for myself is just steps and minutes active. I don't care so much about the calories, but I have goals of steps and just minutes with a heart rate above 100 beats per minute or whatever.
Yeah, I mean I don't really get above 100 beats per minute all that often. Like, what's your resting?
Low.
Mine's like 46.
Yeah, mine's like 50. I think 52.
But I run more than you do.
I don't run at all, and I chew nicotine gum all day, so that keeps my resting heart rate higher.
Pretty high. I'm big. Well, we have the Canadian version of Zyn. I'm all on Zonix now.
Zonix. Yeah, there's something about the tactile part of chewing the gum that I like better. I don't know why.
I mean, I have nicotine gum around too. Anything to be like the moment I think about smoking, just pile one of these things into my mouth.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I haven't smoked. I mean, I've smoked cigars, but I haven't had a cigarette or a vape in long time.
I don't get the smoking of cigars. Like as a former cigarette smoker, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Just wedding, golf, whatever. I'm not like a cigar connoisseur, but if they're going around, sure, I'll have one.
But like, I just don't understand it. Like, you don't smoke it. You just put it in your mouth and blow it out. That's why I can't do it. Like, give me a cigar, I'll be like, oh my God.
You do if you were a cigarette smoker, which I was a cigarette smoker for a long time. Well, not honestly in the scheme of my life, actually not that long thinking about it now. But yeah, your first instinct is to actually take it all in your lung and then you feel sick.
Is it the taste of cigars that people like?
Yeah, if you get a nice cigar, it tastes good. Yeah.
All right. I ran a Twitter campaign during the Masters to like promote something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, this is something I want to promote. I think it was like my article that I posted on X, which shockingly, these articles on X do really well.
Oh yeah, they game the algorithm for you.
Yeah, like they crush for me. It's like the most. I think the one I had at the Masters ended up with like 600,000 impressions, and like when I click on it, like detail expands of people going to read it was like 38,000 or something. I was like, this is doing better than like my other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I tried to game it and like micro target certain audiences just to see how it would work. And oh my God, there's nothing more useless than like, hey, I want this part of like I partnered with CoolBet. We were giving away a trip to my live show, June 7th, by the way. Tickets still available down in the description. And it was like a free trip to the Canadian Open, Blue Jays tickets. Like, it was a free trip to Toronto for 2 if you just like opted into this contest with CoolBet. And there's a Cabot one down in the description right now if people want to go do that. It's a better prize than coming to see me and my friends do a live show. You can get a trip for 4 to the Cabot Cliffs and Cabot Links, all expenses paid. You can opt into that down in the description at CoolBet right now. But it just like micro-targeted what I assume to be bot accounts that And the only reason I think that is because they started responding to the tweet. So I tried to target out west in Canada because you don't want to target Ontario because it's a trip to Ontario. And just every response like, Ontario is a cesspool that's full of Indians. I was like, oh my God. Like, these can't be real people replying to this. And I'd go and look, and basically there'd be 5 responses, all like, I wouldn't even say vaguely racist comments, and then how much they hate Ontario. And then I would click on the accounts just to see. And they were all retweeting exactly the same things. They were all responding to exactly the same tweets. Like, it was just like a factory of all the same stuff. So there's no point of buying any sort of promotion because it's just not reaching real people.
No, Twitter is not a real place. It's I mean, it's as bad as it's ever been. It's truly, I mean, just it's like plugging your brain into the worst possible thing for it. It's really bad.
I mean, Reddit's pretty bad.
Sure. Yeah. I don't spend that much time on Reddit. I read like the Twin Peaks Reddit sometimes.
Is that a good community, or has that become overrun?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. People are kind of weird about having a crush on Audrey Horne, who was like 19 at the time that they filmed
I don't see
that.
why that's weird. She sounds like an adult to me, and she was hot in 1990.
But that's really about it. It's good. I got all the Twin Peaks books.
Oh, the Mark Frost books?
Yes. So
like The Secret Diary of Laura Palmer?
They're all right up. They're all right up there. These are like my next thing. I just finished a big long Jonathan Franzen novel, and I'm gonna start reading these like tonight probably.
Did we talk about The Return, or did you finish it from the last?
I don't think I'd finished it the last time.
What did you spoil? We'll end on this and spoiler alert, unless you want to give me like your insights on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Trade Jalen Williams and a bunch of first round picks for Giannis, and let's go win a championship. Jalen Williams and Chet have just been really bad. That's really it.
It's Chet's first run in the playoffs, isn't it? Didn't he get hurt last year?
No, he played last year.
Did he? No, in the playoffs. Did he get hurt last year?
I mean, maybe I'm totally misremembering it, but I'm pretty sure.
Like when you see these teams, I mean, I don't necessarily think this happened with Tatum and Brown because they were both pretty good, but you have to wait for that second guy to be reliable. Like even when the Nuggets won the championship, like
Jamal Murray was really good.
He was really good, and now look at the Nuggets. Like maybe every other third game Murray's good, and that's why the Nuggets didn't repeat.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm not like mad at anyone. I think Shea's like I think everyone is just kind of doing well within their abilities. Like it's a big stage. This team's really not, I mean, if you look at it, they just have not accomplished anything. Like they lost to the Mavericks in 6 last year, and it was super close. They handled Memphis. Like the thing that you should be mad about if you're a Thunder fan is game 1 where Dagnall just like kind of messed it up, fouling up 3, like just overthinking it. But yeah, and also you can't be mad about losing to Jokic either. Like literally the greatest player in the NBA. Like the guy is so unbelievable. But I don't get me wrong, it would be very disappointing to have this spot where the Lakers got eliminated. The Eastern Conference Championship is probably going to be the Knicks, so that's like they're going to be huge. They're going to be minus 190 series price favorites or in the finals, maybe deeper,
maybe more. If they can somehow get there.
So it would feel like a chance missed, but at the same time, Shea is, I believe, 26. Yeah, he's 26. Chet is 22. J-Dub is 21. They have like a bazillion first round picks. You couldn't have gotten more out of the Caruso Giddey trade if you tried.
Man, Giddey turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, but he just has absolutely no role in this Oklahoma. He can't defend and is not even really a great 3-point shooter. So you'd on this team, you'd rather have Caruso. You want Caruso all day. I mean, and this is going to pain me because I'm literally like, I'm the Lou Dort. I have Lou Dort jerseys. I have Lou Dort cards. I'm the Lou Dort guy, but he's the weak link now because he is this great, unbelievable defensive player. Like probably should be a first team all defense player, but he can't create anything on his own. So their best lineups have like an Isaiah Joe or a Cason Wallace or even a Kenrich Williams. Like those lineups are so much better offensively because when you have Hartenstein and Chet and Shea and Caruso out there, like having another elite defender out there is like only so valuable.
Do you think that either of them get by the Wolves?
Yeah, I mean, I have serious concerns about the Wolves against a real team, right?
Yeah, but we keep saying that because so now the narrative is people just don't want Minnesota to make the final. So they're like, oh, well, as it turns out that the Lakers weren't very good and Golden State didn't have Curry and they weren't very good. And you can be absolutely, that's probably true. But at the same time, you're kind of discrediting a team that has a superstar. Randall all of a sudden is good and Gobert is still just rim protecting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Timberwolves will run into pretty big spacing problems in a game against Oklahoma City. And also, you know, if you look at the primary defender that the Wolves have had to deal with, it's like, okay, it's like Jimmy Butler, Gary Payton, like guys that are either older or smaller than him. It's 38 minutes a night in the torture chamber for Anthony Edwards. I think he's going to be super frustrated. I would, there will be, if that is the series, you know, not saying Oklahoma City will win game 7, but if that is the series, there will be one game where Anthony Edwards is just like out of his mind angry that like he's going to have a 3 for 18 game in one of those games.
But aren't the Wolves specifically constructed to beat Denver? Like if it's Denver, Minnesota, isn't Minnesota the favorite?
Oh, Denver. Yeah, Minnesota should be because Gobert is like, not that anyone can really defend Jokic, but Gobert is like the guy you'd want because he's the only guy who can bother Jokic with size, really.
And then in the East, if Boston comes back and beats the Knicks without Tatum, that is meltdown city.
I mean, Tibbs is getting fired. You know, someone's getting traded. Probably Cat's getting traded again, I would think. I mean, it's just not great. Not great in New York.
It's weirdly, I even as a Raptors fan, but I think it's because the one summer that I lived like in Manhattan was the year that the Knicks lost to Roy Hibbert and the Pacers in 2013. And the city was fucking fire. Like until they lost, but like just winning the first round, I think they were up like 2-0 or they were up 1-0 in the second round. And it looked like they were going to beat the Pacers. And just the vibe in the city was electric. It reminded me of like, even living in Toronto, you never really got that with the Maple Leafs. And just, I rooted so hard against the Maple Leafs that there was not a similar vibe to it where everyone was just like so happy the Knicks were doing well for the first time in forever. And it kind of feels like that's the logical extension of this. And I just don't want to see them get their hearts ripped out. Maybe they lose to the Pacers, like whatever, because they're probably not going to win the title anyway. But to lose to Boston without Tatum, I would feel really bad for them.
I would feel bad for them too. It's basketball. It's like football's better, you know, when the Giants are good. The NBA is better when the Knicks are good.
And I think if you don't live in Boston, that everyone's just consensusly they don't want to see Boston teams do well anymore. It's enough.
Yeah, I hate the Celtics.
Like I remember in 04, 03 or 04, whenever it was. No, 03 was the Boone home run. Then 04 they ended up winning. It was like, yeah, like I felt good for the Red Sox fans. Like, yeah, it's been a long time. It was like when the Cubs won. I felt good for the Cubs fans. Like it just seems like misery when teams haven't won in 100 years. But then your city goes on to win every championship for 2 decades. Like, all right, it's
it's enough.
And they still have no one thinks that we're good. Like the attitude never changed, and I think that was the worst problem.
Yeah. I think you're 100% right.
All right, so the spoiler alert on the Twin Peaks: The Return, the very last scene.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
I think my favorite interpretation is that it's like these 3 distinct parallel universes kind of melding into one psychic moment inside of I forget Laura Palmer's name in that universe in the final scene, but that's my interpretation is like she's like getting reminded of the horror that this like mirror version of herself experienced.
I hadn't heard that. I haven't watched the finale in a while, but just like as my recollection of it works, I think it has more to do with Dale than Laura Palmer. That no matter what Dale does to try to undo everything,
he can't,
no matter where he goes.
That's like the same interpretation. That's the same. That's a branch of the same tree.
Okay, that's where I landed on it, but who knows?
Yeah,
I really like The Return.
I mean, I only watched it once, right? So like I have time to think about it. I like obviously the first run of Twin Peaks is just like it's just it's so insane in how it's presented because it is presented like it's just
A murder
a
mystery.
yeah, it's a a CBS drama on a Saturday night, and then you're like, what? There's so much going on here. It's so funny. It's so weird. It's so wacky. You know, that and I mean, it's Lynchian, right? And it's a murder mystery that's not really about the murder mystery. But yeah, the returns I still thought was phenomenal.
Did you turn on Dougie? Because I love Dougie. The last time we spoke, you hated
It
him.
would just because I think the first time you watch the returns after watching the first two seasons, you're just like and they know this, they play around with it. You're just waiting for Dale to eat a piece of pie or drink a cup of coffee. You're waiting for it. And then I think by like episode 10, maybe I realized that was not going to happen. So then just enjoyed it for what it was.
Well, everything was just so dark
Yeah.
outside of Dougie. It's just like, oh, let's cut to Dougie. This is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Like, you know what? Cause you had told me like, oh, episode 8, right? Greatest. It's so incredible. So I thought what episode 8 was Dougie waking up. And then I realized I realized that's not what it was. And that was when I realized I was like, oh, Dale's not coming back. Like Dale is not in the show. The show's not about Dale. The show's not about and the sheriff is not in it either, right? He'd retired from acting.
I believe he was sick too.
Yeah, Michael Ontkeen.
Yeah, from Slapshot.
Yes. So when I realized that, like, whenever I got to there and I just realized it was a totally different show, it made it a more enjoyable because I think because I watched it all really quick. I watched the first 2 seasons like super fast, like an episode a day. So I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm ready for the same thing to continue in 2017. And they give you some of that, right? But not as much as you want, which I think is like kind of interesting.
Well, I thought it was one of the better reboots of a show because it was sort of an extension of the show. Because I've watched a few of them now. I really wanted the Frasier reboot to be good, and it wasn't. It's fine, but it's like a worse version of the show that you already watched. Where the Twin Peaks revival was just way different than the show that you already watched, and I think that kind of makes it stand alone. Like from the first run of Twin Peaks, from when Lynch left and when Lynch came back, and then into Fire Walk with Me, and then into this. Like, those are 3 separate properties that have the same characters, but have a completely different vibe, a completely different tone, that I think they kind of stand alone by themselves. Like, you could watch any of those by themselves, and I want to say get the gist of it because there's not that much to get, but they all operate as independent stories, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah. Fire Walk with Me it's
the bleakest piece of media you could ever watch. Except for this season of The Valley on Bravo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super dark.
Do you like the Pink Room?
No, I don't.
No,
I don't.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the time, dude.
Thank you for having me, everyone.
Tell everyone about the streams, where they're going on.
Yeah. If you liked that, youtube.com/@Davis_Mattek, more fantasy football stuff, patreon.com/Davis Mattek. And if you really like long rambling conversations that go from NBA playoffs to Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, you can also subscribe to the Takecast.
Yeah, you should go do that. You can subscribe to it on audio and on YouTube as well. Separate YouTube channel, so you can go figure that one out if you want to. I'm Pat Mayo. You can follow me at the PME. Use code Mayo Underdog right now to get yourself a deposit bonus of up to $1,000. Get that free pick as well for the Pick'em game. I prefer the Pick'em games to the drafts, but I wanted to give you guys an intro to what's going on in best ball for NFL this year. We got 3 months of drafts left to do. How many am I going to do? I don't know. I like the PGA drafts better than the NFL drafts. That's more my jam during the summer because I like to not spend all day on my. Do you spend all you just go and like walk and draft teams, don't you?
That's literally what I was doing before this. Yeah, got home from the gym, got the dog out, knocked out 2 drafts, and hopped on with you and kept drafting.
Yeah. I can only do so many in the course of a day. I feel like they go too long. The PGA drafts are like 8 minutes, if that's what you want to do, because there's only 6 teams, there's 10 rounds, and boom, you're done. They just do take a little bit longer to fill because, PGA not as popular as the NFL. But you can find all of the info down in the description to get your deposit bonus. Just remember code Mayo. That should work out well for you. Smash the like and sub to the channel on the way out, and I We'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!